Hello, my bomb blowers and module masters, and today I am here with another Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes modded module tutorial, and today I am here with the module Ventilation. If I had to give a prime example of a medium difficulty module, this would be the one. The module itself is not complicated, but it is kind of easy to mess up. Kind of easy. And there's a bit of know-how to it. Let's go ahead and get started. You may notice that I have the bomb set up to have a ventilation and then 22 modules from my profile. That is because some of the conditions in this flowchart depend on the name of the modules on the bomb. Okay, now we can go ahead and get started. Additionally, some of these will require edge work, some of the conditions, and then there's also some rules up here that require edge work. So the edge work HUD is on. It always is, but this time we're going to use it. It's going to take a while to load because I'm loading more than just the module I'm doing the tutorial on, but that's fine. Okay, bomb coming in.
All available experts, please report to room
I thought you already
A9.
did this. Oh well. Come on. So how's your day going? I didn't think it would do this. This is the first time I've done a factory mode bomb with multiple modules. Okay, so here's our ventilation. Looks rustic. The status light's on the bottom right, which is not where it usually is, but it's fine. So the main thing to note about this module is that there's a blinking light, there are 3 switches, as well as a lock switch, as well as LEDs above the switches, as well as a submit lever. So the goal of the module is to set the correct states of the switches for both the hold state and the fuse state. To set the hold state, what we're going to do is set the switches to the configuration that we want to set it to, which will be one of 8 possible binary states. And these states are listed in the flowchart. And then once we set the correct setting, so let's say the hold setting is 101, we're going to press the lock switch, which will set the LEDs to the state that we set the switches to before we press the switch. Then after that, we're going to set the switches to the fuse state, and then we're going to press the lever here to submit our configuration. Let's say that we accidentally toggled on an incorrect state for the hold lights. Oh no, I actually mean to submit 011, not 101. You can flip the lock switch back up, and then it will clear the hold state. You can flip it back to reset the hold state, and then set the fuse state. You do have to have the lock switch down in order to submit, otherwise it won't submit the fuse state at all. Okay, so how do we go about solving this module? Well, we have a blinking light here that's going to start blinking sometime soon. And what it's going to be blinking is...
Emergency
Oh,
clear.
my bad.
All
It doesn't
personnel,
blink
please
if
return to
the
stations.
switch is down. So you need to make sure the switch is up to receive your read. So it is blinking. It is blinking 3 numbers. It's not in Morse code. It's just going to blink a number of times, then pause for a short bit, then another number of times, pause for a bit, another number of times, and pause for a long while, and then blink the first number of time again. So let's go ahead and wait for the light to reset, which I think was that long pause. Yep, I'm pretty sure. So it's going to blink 3 times, then 2 times, then 1 time. So that's the read for the module. That's the entire read. And now the expert just goes and follows the rules of the manual to get the answer. So what do we do? So first of all, I'm going to set up the hold and fuse. So the first number is the starting corner. In the flowchart, you see the corners labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. The first number is the starting corner for the hold state, and the second number is a starting corner for the fuse state. We're going to be taking a number of steps through this flowchart. The number of steps we take is equal to the second digit, and you multiply it by a certain number. For the hold state, you're going to multiply the second number by the number of batteries. For us, that's 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. If you had no batteries, you would multiply by 6, so 2 times 6 would be 12 if we didn't have any batteries. For the fuse state, we're going to multiply by the number of ports. We have 2 ports, 2 times 2 is 4, so we're going to take 4 steps for the fuse state. Once again, if we didn't have any ports, we would multiply the number we got from in the middle by 5. Okay, now that we know where to start and how many steps we're taking, let's go ahead and begin getting our final states for the states. So first of all, let's get the hold states. If the hold and fuse states start in the same corner, then you can go through the flowchart for both states at the same time. You just gotta take the correct number of steps. Okay, so how do we navigate the flowchart? We're going to look at the condition that is inside of the bubble. Bomb contains an ignored module. If it is true, we're going to follow the dashed line, and if it's false, we're going to follow the solid line. We are currently on step 1. Once we navigate to the next space, so let's say this condition is true, we're going to navigate to this space through the dotted line, and we're going to get to here. Once we navigate to the next square, we start step 2. We evaluate that condition, figure out it's true, we're going to follow this arrow to this square, and now we're on step 3. So that is what it means by steps. Anyway, so we're going to start from here and take 4 steps through the flowchart, and the cell that we end up on will contain the state of the LEDs for the hold state. So let's begin. First off, does the bomb contain an ignored module? So an ignored module is it's pretty much going to be your boss modules. So anything that has an ignore list is probably going to be on Ventilation's ignore list, but if you're kind of concerned, well, the ignore table is in the manual. So there's nothing on here that might be a boss, but tax returns is kind of quirky. Let's go see if it's in the list. It's not in the list. Anything on the front side? None of these appear to be a boss. So I think it's safe to say that we don't have an ignored module. So because the rule is false, we're going to follow the solid line. And that is step 1. Now we're on step 2. The condition for this step is if the hold and fuse starts are the same. They are 3 and 1. Those are not the same number, which means this condition is false. We're going to follow the solid arrow to this state. And that gives us step 2 done. We're on to step 3. Odd time landing here. This is the first time we've landed here, and as the asterisks point out, this resets between hold and fuse checks. So once we're done with hold and start fuse, if we ever make it to this square, we're going to disregard all the times we visited it during the time we navigated the flowchart for the hold state. So this is the first time we landed here. 1 is odd, so we're going to follow the solid arrow because the condition is true. And finally, we're on step 4, which is the final step. This is asking if the step number we're on is odd. We are on step 4, and 4 is not odd, meaning we follow the solid arrow. And this gives us our final hold state as 111. Now, let's go figure out the fuse state. We're starting in the top left corner this time. Solvable module count is prime. There are 23 modules on the bomb, which means this is true. We're going to go over to here, and now we begin step 2. Even step. We're on step 2. 2 is even, so this is true. We're going to take the dashed arrow to here. Now we're on to step 3. Maze module count is not prime. So the maze modules, same with wire modules and cipher modules, are looking for any module on the bomb that contains the phrase maze in its name. So let's go ahead and start looking. Triangles, wars, tax returns, triangles, planets, shuffles, genetic. This is stability, visual impairment. This is ordered keys. That's not poker. Dials. What are you? Doesn't matter. You're not a maze. Microphone, mastermind. This is, what is this called? Dictation. Cactus Conundrum, Label Properties Plus, Object Shows, Jupiter, Touch Transmission, and Cruel Digital Route. So we don't have any maze modules. So we have 0 maze modules, and 0 is not a prime number. So that means this condition is true, and we move on to this bubble. This was step 1, step 2, step 3. That was step 3, so now we're on to step 4, which is the final step. 4 is not odd, so we're going to take the solid arrow down to this cell, which is the final state for the fuse states. So now that we've done all that, let's go ahead and submit. First, we're going to set these switches to the hold state, 1, 1, 1. Then we're going to lock it. Then we're going to set the switches to the fuse state, 1, 0, 0. And now that we've done that, press the shiny lever to solve the module. Now do note that the fan is going to start, and it's going to play a light hum. You can hear it now if you listen closely. And if you mind that hum, you can flip that switch back up, and the fan will stop spinning, and the noise will stop. Okay, so that's all we're going to focus on for this bomb. I'm going to go ahead and solve the bomb, and get us another one for another example.
All available experts, please report to room A9.
Oh, we're doing this again. Ain't that neat. I'll come back to you once this loads. Alright, we're back with another bomb and another ventilation. Let's go ahead and get our read from the blinking LED. Remember that you can't get the LED if you're in the fuse state. Like I forgot during the first example. I'm so sorry for that moment. But anyway, let's wait for the reset. Shouldn't take that long. Here it is. Let's go. 4, 1, 4. Okay. Hold and fuse. So the starting corner for both hold and fuse are 4 and 4. Again, the first digit corresponds to the starting corner for hold, and the last digit corresponds to the corner for fuse. And then we're going to multiply the middle digit, 1, by, for hold, the number of batteries. 1 times 1 is 1, so we're going to take 1 step for the hold state, and then the number of ports, which is 1. So we're going to take 1 step for the fuse state. This is possibly the best ventilation I have ever seen. This is the best ventilation you can actually ever get. So that's kind of insane, if you ask me. So all we have to do is just go to the corner 4, evaluate this condition, and then whatever we go to is just the end state for both hold and fuse. If the hold and fuse number of steps were different, so say that fuse was 2 steps, once we take the first arrow, we'll know the hold state, and then once we take the second arrow, we'll know the fuse state. The odd-time landing gear rule resets between hold and fuse checks, so there's nothing stopping you from doing this. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the state. Cipher module count modulo 3 is 0. Okay, let's see if we have any ciphers on here. Color cycle button, graphic memory, lettered hexa buttons, or is that orange? I don't know, don't care either. This is a alphabetized insanity, cycle, crazy talk, character shift, gray button, Kanye encounter, play for cycle, European travel, light speed, that's a bioscanner. Modern cipher, we have 1. Microcontroller, corridors, red button, binary LEDs in order, Qdoku, and matchmaker. So we have 1 cipher module. 1 modulo 3 is not 0, so we're going to take the solid arrow. Which means that the ending position for both the hold and fuse state is going to be 1, 0, 0. Set the hold state to 1, 0, 0. Flip the lock switch. Set the fuse state to 1, 0, 0. Submit. And that's a ventilation solve. I will note on here that we have an ignored module this time. In order is a boss module, and if we look at ventilation's ignore list, which I opened up again for some reason, I don't know what's up with me today. If we look for in order, that is not how you spell in order, you doofus. It is on here. So in order is ignored. And if we look at some of these modules, I wouldn't guess that any of these modules that I've highlighted here would be on the ignore list. So it's good to check it if you have any question about whether it's ignored or not. So that is going to be it for this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, please ask me in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.